The law of emotional instability. Once you give a commandment, it produces all manner of evil desire. Everyone who has a spirit of laziness has a spirit of failure. Every man with the spirit of lust of women is seriously emotionally disturbed. Anyone who starts a sentence with if has an emotional problem. You might be 60 years old, but some of you are 12 years emotionally. Why is it that people with emotional problems, when a man of God says, don't do this, they want to do it? Anytime you say don't, you have said do. If you say do, they don't. If anyone, they want to control, want to be in power, every time, where it's written 60, them they want to be at 8 to show power. And when a policeman stops them, they even challenge that policeman. And they can tell that policeman and reduce him. And then say you can write whatever you want to write. And fight with the police. Serious emotional problems. If you're always in trouble with the police every time, you're always fighting with them, fighting against the law, I can surely tell you, without prophecy, that your background was not good. You were emotionally disturbed. Because people who grew up with emotional stability, if it's written 60, they slow down to 60. If it's written 80, they slow down to 80. Check all messages which I've preached. If every message which I said, don't do this, you did it, it's an emotional problem. All open messages you do, but every closed message which is said, don't do this, you actually want to do it as fast as possible. It's a serious emotional problem, that one. Now, why is it that people with emotional problems, when a man of God says, don't do this, they want to do it? Do you know the reason? Now, let me show you. Because all of you are here. You are gathered in your thousands. And you are looking at one man. And that man is the prophet in front of you. So which means somewhere, somehow, there is a sense of importance on this pulpit. And with what I say. So if I say, don't do this, or don't wear like this, and all of you look at what I'm saying, don't, which means all the people's attention and their eyes are now on what the prophet said, don't. So which means everyone is looking at that thing. So now people without importance, they look at what people are looking at. And in that don't, there is significance and there is importance because of who has said it. So them, they would want to go and do exactly that. What I said don't, they do it. So that people look at them and they say, Wakapenga. Hey, you can do what the prophet said, don't do. And they get importance and comfort. That, yeah, we can do it. And the people start to ask them questions, but why are you? So when the people are asking them, why are you doing it? They feel comfort that at least people are now noticing me. It's a serious emotional problem. They are looking for attention, looking for significance. They want eyes to focus on them, and they go and do it. To be seen that they are powerful and they can override the prophet or the pastor. So people big them up, and they feel very powerful. It's a spirit of, it comes through emotional instability. Then it can grow until you have a rejection, lack of importance. You start to love power. And you become manipulative and controlling to people. So to this group that is emotional, a position and a title in church can make you feel significant. Lack of position or title can make you feel rejected, unwanted, and unloved. If I comment someone, what do you feel if I take someone, maybe all pastors that are here, if I take a pastor and I lift him up and say, my son, I am very proud of you. I like the way you are doing. When you feel inside of you that this comment was supposed to be given to me, and you start being jealous of this man, it's a sign you have low self-esteem. You have serious insecurity. You need importance. Tell the person next to say, let your emotions be healed today. How do you feel when someone is commented? How do you feel when someone does good or a testimony? Do you know that Cain and Abel, Cain had a serious emotional problem because God accepted his offering. How do you feel? Ask the person next to you, how do you feel? Say, Lord, help me. Do you know Mark chapter 5, verse 16 to 20? Let me show you something about this. Mark chapter 5, verse 16 to 20. There was a man called Legion. He was healed. Those who saw it told them how it happened to him, who had been demon-possessed, and about the swine. Can you continue? Then they began to plead with him to depart from their region. And when he got into the boat, he who had been demon-possessed begged him that he might be with him. However, Jesus did not permit him, but said to him, now look at this, go home, tell to your friends, tell them what great things the Lord has done for you and how he has had compassion on you. Go and tell your friends. Legion, though he was demon-possessed after Jesus delivered him, but this man was emotionally stable. Emotionally stable people, what you tell them, they go and do it. Go home to your friends and tell them what great things the Lord has done for you. Jesus always wants us to go and testify and tell our friends the good things that he has done for us. We must go out and say things about his ministry. And what did this man? He departed and began to proclaim in Decapolis all that Jesus had done for him, and all marvel. He did exactly that. He was emotionally stable. But let's go to Mark chapter 1, verse 40 to 45. There is a man who had leprosy. Now a leper came to Jesus, imploring him, kneeling down to him and saying to him, if you are willing, You can make me clean if you are willing. Anyone who starts a sentence with if is an emotional problem. Because they don't believe they can get anything. If Prophet Chiza, if you can pray for me, I can also be healed. There is a man who came sometime after I prayed for his wife, and the wife was healed of HIV. That man also came and said, Prophet, please pray for me the same way you prayed for my wife. If you really want to pray, you can also heal me. Which means to him, Prophet Chiza prays for some people and they get healed, and he prays for some people and they don't get healed. So it's like when I want, that's when people get it. Because when your stepmother wanted you to get biscuits, that's when she would give you. So everything was given if she was in a good mood. Your mother would give you if she was in a good mood. Things were coming to you if your parent was in a good mood. If you are willing, which means they know that when their mother or father was in a good mood that week, they would get money. So it is an if. Anything they want, it affects you even on how you receive miracles in the church. Emotional problems. It's like when God wakes up on the other side of the bed, he can bless you. But when he's not willing, he will not bless you. So it's like chance. It happens by chance. God is not really willing. You are emotionally disturbed because everything to you was given when that master of yours was willing. When he was not willing, you do not get anything. So if you are willing, you can make me clean. Now can you go to verse 41? Then Jesus moved out with compassion. He saw this man's emotional problem. He stretched out his hand and touched him and said, do you see the statements? Jesus, before cleansing this man, he said, I am willing. It's my will for you to be healed. You don't get healed because I want you to be healed. You get healed at any time as long as you believe I am willing to give at any moment. He is healing this man's will power. If you are willing, they are emotional. I told you the will of a man, the mind of a man, it's in the soul. The willpower is connected to your emotions. If you are willing, if your will is okay, you can do it for me. Jesus is saying, I am willing, I am emotionally stable. I am ready at any moment to give you what you want. Which means this man lived in a don't environment. Where when they say don't, you don't get it. And it was affecting his reception of a miracle. And verse 42, look at what? As soon as he had spoken, immediately the leprosy left him and he was cleansed. Verse 43. Now look at this. Jesus knows this man's emotional problem. He now uses the same language that he understands. Different from Legion. He is now strictly warning him and sending him away at once. And in verse 44, he said, see that you don't tell anyone. See that you say nothing to anyone. Because Jesus knew if he does that, that man was going to do it. If you say, don't tell anyone, to a person with emotional problems, you must know after that statement, he will be telling everyone free. Freely. Anytime you say don't, you have said do. If you say do, they don't. If you say go and tell people to an emotional problem, an emotional person who is emotionally disturbed, they will not go. Because everything they were told to do, it was a command. They don't understand the language of don't, and they don't understand even the language of do. Because they have imbalances inside. They are not balanced. So Jesus always wants us to go into the world and tell the gospel. But he knew the language of this man. He noticed by the way he was asking for a miracle that it was in an emotionally disturbed way. And Jesus used the same language and said, see that nothing. See that you say nothing to anyone. It's like, don't say anything about this, but just go your way and show yourself to the priest. Offer for your cleansing those things which Moses commanded as a testimony to them. Let's go now in verse 45, see what happened. However, he went out and began to proclaim it freely and to spread the matter, so that Jesus could no longer openly enter the city, but was outside in deserted places, and they came to him from every direction. So when you are a pastor, if you notice these people, when you want them to do something, you don't say do it, you say don't do this. Then they do that. If you want them to do, you say don't do it. They will start running around doing that thing. He went out, began to proclaim it freely, and spread the matter so that Jesus, imagine, could not enter openly the city. He knew this. Legion was sent straight away. Go and tell your friends. Go and tell people at home. But this one, Jesus said, don't go. Don't say anything.